be one that a lot of people struggle with. I have good days with handstands and bad days with handstands, but I'm going to show you some of my favorite drills to begin working towards handstand. I really like when you're beginning handstands to have the wall handy, so we're going to use the wall here for a lot of these drills. So handstand is really Tadasana, mountain pose, on our hands. We're just flipping mountain pose upside down. So what we need here is we need opening in our shoulders, we need opening in our hip flexors, engagement in our glutes, our hamstrings, our core, and we need lift through our shoulders. So some of the things I like to do to prep my body for handstand are puppy dog pose. So coming down and getting that length through my chest, really opening up through my shoulders, holding that for 5 to 10 breaths. Another variation of that is kind of on the wall. You take your hands and then your knees are hips width distance apart and you begin to let your chest sink. So I could just kind of arch and sink in here, and that's not really going to accomplish what I want it to accomplish. So what I'm going to do is kind of push away with my shoulders, and then I'm going to sink down, getting the opening through my shoulders a little bit more. So that's a good option. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can come down to your thighs, hands on the wall, and open up through there. Just really getting some opening through those shoulders. So those are 3 variations of shoulder stretches. All of them you're going to hold for 5 to 10 breaths. I also recommend opening up your hip flexors before hamstring or before handstands. So bringing your hands to your hips, making the space between your hips and your ribs a little bit smaller, shifting forward there, and then your hands can come on up overhead. And breathing here, maybe grabbing the left wrist and reaching up and over towards the right side. You could do that on both sides. It's just really important to have opening in those hip flexors before we do handstands, because if not, our butt sticks out and we can't get that center of gravity. So when we're first starting handstands, some of the drills I'm going to have you do, you're going to start towards the wall. You're going to find where you would stand to have your legs perfect in that 90-degree angle. Okay, so once you have that figured out, you're going to turn around and you're going to put your hands where your feet were, and you're going to walk your feet up the wall. And you're going to come into this little right angle pose, okay? So you're trying to look down in front of you, if not like towards your hands, but really in front of you, and your weight's in the ball of your hand and your fingers, and then you're going to lift one leg and try to float. Whoop. Okay, so you're going to lift one leg. It's like if you're trying to talk through the little thing. Lift one leg and try to float, and then you'll do the opposite with the other leg. Try to float, okay? Then you can walk yourself back down and give yourself a little bit of a break. So from there, the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to walk all the way into the wall and then all the way back out, just getting that balance and that bearing again. So you're going to bring those hands back down, walk your feet in, and then this time you're going to come all the way down towards the wall and try to get nice and straight against the wall, and then you can walk back out. Again, trying to hold for 5 to 10 breaths in all of these drills. Some of them might be for you, some of them might not be. You kind of take them and leave them, which ones work for you. Another drill that you can do is facing the wall, and you're going to have your hands about 1 to 1.5 feet away from the wall, depending on how long your legs are. And your hands are nice and open, pushing through the ground. You're going to lift up. I like to come towards like a standing split, and then from here, you'll rock your weight forward and begin to shift up. When you're first starting, you'll bend through one knee at 90 degrees, point through the other, and then you'll start to switch sides. Maybe you'll get confident enough that you can lift both legs, right? And then from there, you're just trying to balance and hold that as long as you can. And then when you're ready, you can come back down, switch sides. So those are some really simple drills you can do using the wall. One other drill I'd like you to start doing for your handstands is some core work. So my favorite exercise for handstands for core is low boat or canoe pose. So boat pose is up here, low boat or canoe is down here, and even extending your arms up overhead. Trying to hold that for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute every single day, really getting that core engagement. Some of the things you want to focus on is don't let your back arch, and don't feel this big bellowing in your tummy. Draw in low back to the mat and see if you can hold that. That's going to be a really great exercise for you for handstands. Then When you're starting to incorporate your handstands into your practice a little bit more, a few places that are really great to practice them within your class are when you jump forward, jumping into your handstands. I'll show you what that looks like. And then also pressing up from your standing splits is a great option. Ultimately, one day getting to that press up position in your handstand, so I'll show you some ideas on that too. So first one that's kind of the most common is coming from standing splits. So your hands are down on the mat, good engagement. You're going to lift one leg, and then from there you're just going to start to shift forward. You can use the wall if you like, and then you're slowly going to kind of, well, first what you're going to do is practice kicking up, right? Trying to get a float, okay? So you'll do both legs, practice kicking up, trying to get your float. When you feel like you have enough float, eventually you'll kick up, and then you can start to work your legs towards one another. Your gaze, my gaze you see is like kind of more towards the ground. It should be more in this direction. I kind of just lose my balance because I don't have total shoulder opening that I would like right now. So that's a great way to play with it, is going from the standing splits. Another great way to play with it is jumping forward. So a few drills with that. So when we're coming from our down dog, losing my breath. Coming from our down dog, you can jump forward and try to bring your knees into your chest and get a float here, and then you can hold that float for a few breaths, right? Or eventually you can start to jump forward and pike up. So that's kind of the harder way to do it. Hard when I'm talking, so hold on. So you can play around with it like that. Or you can just press up into your handstand. So when I'm pressing up into my handstand, I'm still working on that positioning. And I like to kind of come from the side. And I like to bring the one leg around. I'm too close to the wall, sorry. I like to bring the one leg around and press up from there to my handstand. And that's what helps me. So you can kind of try all different ways. Eventually we'll have a video in here about pressing up to handstands. I have a girlfriend coming to help me out with that who's got phenomenal handstands. So really the key is open the hips, open the lats, open the shoulders, open the triceps. Feel the strength in your core, work on that canoe, and try the different variations against the wall till you feel comfortable getting your hips over your shoulders. And have fun playing with your handstands.